Hey, good day there. This is Joe Van Cleve. Welcome to another episode of the Typewriter video series. Today we're going to look at two nearly identical Olivetti Lettera 22s. So, as you might be aware, the Olivetti Lettera series are one of the most popular types of portable typewriters out there. They are in high demand, and for good reason, because they're engineered quite well and they perform above their ranking as being ultra portable typewriters. They really perform closer to that of a medium-sized typewriter. So they are desirable typewriters. A lot of people like them, including me. I've been lucky to have 3 of them in my life, and I still have 2 of them with me. So let's take a look at them and compare them and see what's similar and different about these 2 examples. Well, here are the 2 Olivetti Letteras in their soft cases. This one here and that one there. They both have a strap or bungee cord holding the case together because in both cases the zippers are shot, which is a common problem with these typewriters. So you'll notice that they both have essentially the same identical style of case with this black stripe down the middle, black handle, light blue case. Let's take a look. So here are both machines out of their cases with their paper supports deployed and their carriage return levers deployed. They're both very, very close to the same color. They're essentially the same color. It's just that, there's different age between the 2. They've experienced different things. For instance, you'll notice on this one, this corner here has chipped paint along with this one, and this one is much less worn. There are a few minor other differences. For instance, you'll notice a big difference is the key style on this typewriter has square keys with rounded corners, and they're sort of a gray color, where this one is round black keys. And the bracket for the ribbon color selector is black, and this one is silver. Now, one additional difference between these 2 machines is you might notice the color of the tab key. This one on the left with the square keys has a bright red tab key, whereas the one on the right is more of a darker maroon color. And you'll notice the little rollers, the metal rollers on the paper bale, they're bigger in diameter than on this machine, and also this paper bale is a larger diameter paper bale with a paper scale on it, where this one is a smaller diameter round rod. Perhaps another significant difference between these 2 machines is this one is labeled Olivetti in a large style lettering. This one is labeled Underwood Olivetti in a smaller style lettering. So I would assume this machine is probably newer than this machine. This machine was manufactured after Underwood bought out Olivetti. Now, I have not dated either typewriter by their serial number, but I would assume this to be the newer one than this. And the one on the left is Olivetti made in Invria, Italy, and the one on the right is also made in Invria, Italy. Now, another even more significant difference between the 2 machines is the actual keyboard layout. You'll notice the machine on the left, the Olivetti branded machine, has a lot more fractions. There's 1/2, 1/4, 3/4, 3/8, and 1/8. Whereas the machine on the right, the Underwood Olivetti, only has the 1/4 and the 1/2. Also, on the one on the left, there is a pound symbol on the shifted 4, whereas the one on the right, the Underwood, has a $sign. So there's also a cent symbol on the one on the right, whereas the one on the left, they put the question mark as an unshifted question mark instead of shifted question mark on the right. So my conclusion from this is the machine on the right, the Underwood Olivetti, is probably made for the American market with an American style keyboard layout, whereas the machine on the left is most likely Great Britain, a British style keyboard. You'll find, if you've been collecting typewriters for a while, that 2 typewriters of the same brand and model might feel slightly different from one another in terms of typing action and overall mechanical quality based on their usage during their lifetime, how well they've been treated, how well they've been serviced. So let's compare these two Olivetti Lettera 22s with each other and see how they line up. So in order to ensure that we're giving both machines a fair test, I'm going to pull off the ribbon cover and I'm going to make sure that the touch adjustment is set for 2 on both machines so we have a fair comparison. Okay, so this is the left-hand machine with the square keys. Let's just give a round of the Quick Brown Fox. And here is the Underwood Olivetti machine, the one on the right, and we're going to give it a round. Well, the Olivetti on the left had a snappier, tighter touch to it, but its imprint was a little bit light. Now that's probably attributable to the quality of the ribbon, whereas the one on the right, it had a much darker imprint, probably a newer ribbon, but its typing action was a little bit more kind of loose, not quite as tight as the first one. So there is a difference in touch between both machines at the same touch setting. As far as the typeface, or shall we say the font style of both machines, they appear to me to be nearly identical. This is the one on the left, and this is the one on the right. I think they're identical typefaces. Now here's another similarity I noticed with both machines that I think is maybe a little anomaly. If you'll notice on the spacing selector switch, it's 1, 2, and 3 that's stamped in there. That's the same with the other machine, the one on the left. What I've done is I've done single spacing. I've typed 5 parentheses, 5 lines in a row. Then I went back up on top and I set it to the double space setting. I indexed the carriage return and typed it, and what we have is a 1.5 spaced. So double spacing is actually 1.5, and then triple spacing is actually double spacing. And that's the case with both of these machines. The labeling here is not actually correct. Now I went ahead and did another test. This is something I've seen on other Olivetti Lettera 22s. I wanted to make sure it had the same feature. The feature is you've typed the last line of the previous paragraph, and you want to do a carriage return, and then you want to indent the first line of the next paragraph. Well, the Olivetti Letteras have this feature whereby if you're at the last line of the previous paragraph, if you press and hold the margin release key and then do your carriage return, it'll stop already indented 5 spaces from the left margin. So this is a shortcut way of starting your next paragraph without having to go all the way to the end and then either spacing over or doing a tab for that. So it's one of those little features that the Olivettis have that's very nice. Both machines do have this feature. Okay, there is yet another feature that I want to test to make sure both of these machines do. And that is, it's a half space machine and you should be able to insert missing letters. So let's type a test sentence. So it's going to be testing space testing, except I forgot the G. And I've gone ahead and typed my third word, but I left out the G and there's no room for it. Well, what you do is, on this last letter, you press and hold the space bar and then you type the T, release the space bar, press it, the E, same thing, press and hold the space bar with each letter. Then you can space, and there you have succeeded in inserting the extra letter into the space normally where it would be missing. And the reason why you've done that is you've taken a half space out of the space between here and a half space out of the space here. So what you would do, of course, is you would erase the mistaken word with your correction tape, and then you would type it as I've shown using the space bar. So both of these machines have that feature. Well, in conclusion, it was kind of fun working with both of these Lettera 22s. It's interesting, there is a slight difference in age, a difference in the branding. One is Olivetti, one is Underwood Olivetti. A slight difference in the key style, and most notably really is a difference in the touch between the two machines. I don't know if that's due to a change in the engineering and build of the machine when it went to Underwood Olivetti, or if it's just sample-to-sample variation between these two. But otherwise, they are very close to each other. But it does show that should you read somewhere that a certain brand of typewriter is desirable, keep in mind that your individual sample might vary from what other people's experiences are. And so it really helps to shop around and test out these machines before you might buy them. Well, until next time, this is Joe Van Cleve, and you have yourself a great day.